it's Bona for AccuCut Craft, and I wanted to share with you some projects you can create using the A7 Apron Invitation Die. And this is using the GrandeMARK machine. So let me share with you some fun projects you can create using this die. You can create an invitation, and this is using some design paper. Added some seam binding to the top, embellished the front, and also added some design paper to the back. And place a tag inside, and this is 4.5 by 3.5 in size. And you can also create this as a card. You would place your message again on top of this tag. And this is the die cut, and this fits perfectly on an 8.5 by 11 sheet. And I went ahead and folded in the crease lines. You can also add the red line tape, which is also available at AccuCutCraft.com. And so let's go ahead and add some tape to the side here. And this is really easy to assemble, and you can create so many fun projects with this die. And you got yourself a really adorable apron pocket here. You can also create a favor box, and thought it would be fun to place a small jar of something homemade, and then you can place the recipe on the tag, and then just place it in the front pocket. And then on the back is the bow tie, just like you would see on an apron. So let me share with you how to assemble the box. With this one I used some lightweight chipboard, and then I adhered some design paper on top. You want it to be a little more sturdy, especially if you're putting a small jar of something homemade. But let me just show you how to assemble the box. You would need 2 of the die cuts, and I went ahead and pre-punched the holes on the side. And then you're basically going to remove the side tabs on both the lightweight chipboard as well as the design paper. And this creates a really nice gift to give to someone that's hosting a party. It's just really special to receive something homemade. Okay, so you're going to remove the tabs, and then you're also going to need just the bottom portion of the apron, and this what creates the pocket. So let's go ahead and fold in the crease lines here. And then you're just going to place the red line tape to the bottom here, or your adhesive. I would probably recommend red line tape, again, because you are placing something heavy inside the favor box. It would be more sturdy. And then you just place the 2 bottom pieces together, and this is what forms the box. Okay, and then you're going to add your ribbon through the holes here. You can use seam binding, you can use twine, any type of ribbon you'd like. So you place it on one side, and then you take the other end and place it through the other hole. Okay, and then do it again to the other one. And this also creates a side for the favor box. This way it prevents the jar from falling out from the side. Okay, and then you just run it all the way through here. And then you're just going to tie your bow on the back so it looks like an apron. So you just create your bow like so. Okay, so that's, you know, it creates the bow in the back. And then you're going to cover the front of the bow. So you're going to add some, let's just fix this here a little bit. There we go. You're going to add some tape to the side of the tabs and also on the inside on the bottom. go ahead and add, well, let's go ahead and fold the crease lines first. And then we're going to add the tape here. And then we'll also add it to the bottom part here of the pocket. And then just place it to the front of the apron. So just go ahead and line it to the front here, like so. And then you got yourself the pocket. And then that's when you place your tag here and you add your recipe on the tag. And then you're just going to add some seam binding to the top, both tops of the hole like this. And that's what creates your handle. And it just makes a really adorable favor box. So that's how you create the box. And then you can also create a recipe card holder that you can display in your kitchen. Or again, you can give this as a gift. Basically what I did was I created a base. So you have your front cover, and then you have your pockets here with the recipe cards, and then you have your bottom base. Now I used the medium weight chipboard, and then I adhered the design paper to the front as well as the back. So to create the base, you're basically going to need the die cut in the medium weight chipboard and then 2 in the design paper. And you're just going to cut the side tabs here, like so. And then you're just going to fold in the crease line, and that's what creates the bottom base. So let's go ahead and fold that in, and then you got your base. Okay, so for the cover, you're basically just going to need just the top portion of the apron. So you just need to remove the bottom portion of the apron, and you're going to need 1 in the medium weight chipboard and then 2 in the design paper for the front and the back, like I did here. And then basically I just embellish the front. I add some ribbon and some flowers, and then here it spells out recipes. And then on the other side of it, again, you add some design paper, and you can place a really special message if you plan to give this as a gift. And then that's what creates the cover of your recipe card holder. And then for the inside pockets, there's a total of 6. Again, you're going to need 1 with the medium weight chipboard. Then you're going to take your pockets and you're going to adhere that to the top of the medium weight chipboard, like so. And then you're going to add your recipe card inside. And this is again 4.5 by 3.5, and you can fit about 3 of these. So you can get a total of 6 recipes. And this is designed to have one for every month, especially for those of you that love to cook or love to bake. There's always a recipe out there for each month. And so this is January through June. And it's just really fun to put together. And when you're done with June and you want to use July through December, you're basically just going to remove these and then just flip it over and place it back onto the base. Let me just go ahead and show you July through December. So here's July. Really fun project. And there's so many fun recipes out there. You can add your own recipes if you're giving this as a gift. So you can give whomever you're giving it to some of your favorite recipes. Okay, so that's July through December. And then you just put it back here. You're going to add your 1-inch binding rings, and then put back your cover, and then add some seam binding ribbon here. And then you got yourself a recipe card holder. And then you also got a fun favor box where you can add something in a small jar homemade. And then you can also add the recipe to the front, the pocket. And then you also got yourself a card or an invitation. And you can give all these 3 as a gift. And this is again the A7 Apron Invitation Die, which is available at AccuCutCraft.com. And thank you for watching.